program, and like, but you like, don't trip, man. The homie's gonna be over here later to holler at you. So yeah, that was my first introduction to prison. Is we at war, the blacks and the Norteños.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And my homie started it. So we the main target. But the crazy part is within all of that, so we had that going on with the Norteños. But we also get into it the Crip and Bloods up there because my homies then came out and did what they did and they didn't tell no blacks. So they just kept it amongst the Hoovers. So they just came out, took off on the Mexicans, didn't tell nobody. But when you take off, of course, everybody got to participate.
Right.
So now you got Crip Bloods, people max, people got stabbed up, people got hurt. So they like, man, like, what's that about? Like,
Yeah.
y'all did this and didn't tell nobody? So they never liked us anyway. So then they start hitting them with the, all right, well, this is what we gonna do. And Nathaniel was like, we don't even want to go to war with the whole blacks. We just tripping off the Hoovers. And you had some Crip and Bloods who like, man, all right, go ahead. Which is completely a no-no in prison.
Right.
But remind you, we didn't went to war on that yard with the Bloods. Before this happened, we went to war with the Bloods. Then we went to war with the Crips. So it's already bad blood there anyway, you know?
Mhm.
So when this happened, they were just like, man, y'all go ahead and do what y'all do. But it was some other brothers like, man, we can't do that because we know even if we allowed this, we go to another prison, they're gonna kill us for it. So all this chaos and all this is going on, and I'm getting all this at one time. It's my first time in prison, which is completely different from the county because the county it's more kind of individual like things, you know.
Yeah.
So I can do stuff and get into it with people, and it'll be an isolated incident. Or they can have homies right there, and they probably won't even do nothing. There's been times where they homies will stand down, like, and they from the same hood, but they like, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all go and get that out the way. But prison is none of that. So prison is just business, you know. Prison is if any one of your homies fight, you gotta participate.
Yeah.
It don't matter. He could be a buster,
Yeah.
but it's like he's our buster. You know, like, he's not nobody else's buster.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit. So you're in prison. That was your introduction. You know what I'm saying? You see some of your homies and all that. Now, like, time is starting to sit in. You know what I mean? Like you doing what, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. How was you dealing with that?
Drugs and being turned up.
Mm.
That's the drugs being turned up and cell phones.
Yeah.
That's the program.
Mm.
It's no dealings. You know, you under the influence. You ain't really thinking about it. You know, we out here getting into it on the yard. So my whole thing with doing time period because I started as a kid is I always did time as whenever I'm in jail, I'm in jail. I don't worry about the streets. I won't even. I try not to even call my mama. I don't want years in prison without calling my mama because I ain't got time to hear about that. I'm living a whole different lifestyle, so I don't. I try to like disconnect from the streets because I feel like if you keep that connection to the streets, it's gonna stress you out. You know, because you're gonna be trying to keep up with what's going on, all the problems you're gonna keep hearing about. So I just connected with the streets. Only person I used to talk to really was my dad, and that's because he gang banged.
Got you. So you in prison you doing this time. Say you was on drugs, cell phones, charged up. How many charges or how many convictions did you get while you was in jail? Do you know?
For as in prison or county.
In prison.
So I really like the most I ever caught in prison was a knife case.
Hmm.
But usually everything else was like cell phones, assault and batteries. But none of my assault and batteries was ever picked up. You know,
I got you. So then, okay. You met your rib when you was in prison.
con.
Speak on that a little bit, if you don't mind.
All right, yeah.
And how did you meet her?
All right, so I met my wife in the Centinela State Prison. So I wound up doing like 9 years in Salinas Valley. So when I finally was able to get up out of there, they sent me to Centinela. So when I was in Centinela, they moved me in the cell with one of my homies in the world. So while we in there, it's crazy because we was talking about this, and we used to work out
Yeah.
on his Instagram.
Right.
We used to work out on his Instagram all the time, every day. We work out, had a set program. and my wife was his girl. My wife's sister was his girlfriend. So I used to see her. She used to be on the phone with him all the time. He used to call her, sis, whatever. And I knew, but I never really tripped because at that time, I had like 3, 4 women at the time. So I wasn't really, I was already overwhelmed. So I wasn't even really tripping like that. And I used to always see her. And she wound up talking to me through him. And literally, we've been rocking ever since. Like literally, we
Right.
started off as just like cool, like we was just friends in the beginning. Like I
Yeah.
told her the truth, like look, I got other females, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. She's like, oh, okay, I ain't tripping, you seem like a cool person, that's all.
Yeah.
So we was talking for a few months, just cool, and it took off from there.
Okay. Crazy. Okay. So now you meet your woman and all that. Then there's a time you run into your cousin.
Con,
You run into your cousin Daniela,
con,
right? You run into your cousin. What prison was y'all in?
sitting up.
And how did y'all get sold up? Just they allowed y'all to get sold up.
No, so what happened was we was in the same prison for a minute. I had like 4 cousins in that same prison, but they was all on different yards.
Mm.
So when he came to my yard, he was like 3 buildings over. Immediately, I had one and got at the police like, hey man, I got a blood cousin on the yard. I need to get him over here.
Yeah.
So I had a cell at the time. So I was just telling him like, hey man, it's my blood cousin. I'm about to move in the cell. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna go over here with the other one. And yeah, that's really how it happened.
Yeah.
He probably was over there for like 2 weeks. I moved him in a cell, and yeah, we was rocking.
God, hell yeah. So Daniela. I'm gonna get to that part in a second though about you and Daniela. Okay, so um it's what year is that? When
It's probably like 2019.
19?
19.
Okay. So it's 2019. Zidane, and now Zidane Allen, is he a trooper at the time, or is he?
Uh, when I first met him, he wasn't even a trooper. He was a young man.
Okay, so the young man, but he knows about the school. He knows about the truth.
Right, right. So he was
Okay.
already uh, with Lahab.
Yeah, he's
He
well
was
off the
already
bottom.
with Officer Lahab,
Uh-huh.
and while he was with me, he got his name.
Okay.
Yeah, while he was with me, he got his name.
And you in the cell with him when he get his name.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. So now I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, right? 2020, your father passed away.
Yeah.
2020,
2020.
right? Can you speak on that? Like how that affect you while you were in prison? You said you talked to him all the time.
Oh, so oh yeah, that shit fucked me up. Uh, I'm just gonna say it right now. If it wasn't for my rib, for surely I wouldn't be sitting here today. Uh, Cause that did something to me. So, my dad, that's like my best friend. So, uh, I'm in the I'm in the cell with Zandanyala when it happened, and I knew he was gonna pass. He passed from cancer.
Yeah,
So, we was already kind of preparing as a family, but I feel like for the most part, you could never prepare for death.
yeah,
So everybody knew he was gonna pass, but when he really passed, so just to make it to better explain it, my whole family kept that my daddy was sick from him for like probably like a year and a half.
mm,
So I never even knew this man was sick. So I'm talking to him, everything regular. So I didn't even know he was sick. I wanted to find out through my rib. My rib found out, and they tried to convince my family, like, don't tell him though because he burned out and like he gonna lose it.
yeah,
Like even my daddy telling me like, yeah, don't just let him do his time and focus. So she told me, which I'm happy, most high in Christ, she did. And so I'm like, what? So of course, I cuss everybody out. Moms, granny, him, you know what I'm saying? So I'm spazzing on everybody.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My siblings, everybody, I'm at the world. So as he telling me this, and he like, yeah, man, they told me I got like a year to live. I'm like, what? I'm just finding out this. So they told me like a year. I'm like, man, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, there's nothing they could do. So we going through the whole little talk. Uh, like he did chemo, all the stuff he could do. So yeah, so we preparing as a family, for his death. And as he on I think it's called hospice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hospice. He's in that condition. And my rib, it was just like a random day. I'm like, man, let's go out to my granny. We was living in LA at the time, my wife. So I'm like, man, let's go out to my granny house in Ontario, man, just check up on Pops. So she's like, all right. So we get there and literally like as we were pulling up, uh, people's coming out the house screaming like, man, your daddy just died. I'm on video chat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? So they tell me like, yeah, man, your daddy just died. I'm like, this is crazy. And man, right then and there, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of like, I wasn't as turned up at that. Before that, I was kind of like cool, whatever. But yeah, when my pops died, I turned all the way back up.
Mm.
Yeah, I turned all the way back up probably for like about like a year.
Damn. Got it. And like, I'm gonna go back a little. I'm gonna go back a little bit. I'm gonna come back to this, right?
Right.
So like during this time, you did 2006, 2020, about 14 years at that time.
Right.
That right? That's what I sound right. 14 years.
Sounds all right.
Right. So you did 14 years. You've been in. You went to two prisons. Two prisons. At that
Three.
time. Three.
Lancaster, Salinas Valley, and Cinderella.
Okay. And then in those during those times, you said you had a stretch of where you were just being turned up on drugs.
Right.
You know, it was that.
Right.
When did you find when did you find yourself calming down? It sounded like you started calming down when you talked to Rhea. You find your Rhea.
Oh yeah, my rib changed everything.
Mhm.
Like I'll never forget when I first met my rib. She like she like I wanna start praying with you. And I'm like, praying? What you mean? She like, yeah, like, before we go to sleep and wake up, just pray. And I'm like, man, that's out. Like, I don't pray, I gangbang. Like, what are you talking about? You know? And my rib like a real spirit. And she like, what are you like? I'm like, listen, you do your church thing. Like, I'm gangbang. I don't pray.
Yeah.
Like, she like, well, look, if you're gonna be with me, like, you're gonna have to pray. You gotta do something, like, like this Lord, like, you have to do something.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, man, okay. So I really liked it, so I started praying. I really liked it, so I started praying.
Right,
You know,
right.
power of the P. So so I started praying, man, honestly.
Yeah.
And but it's crazy because at that time Zendaya was already in a cell with me.
Yeah.
And he's already telling me, everything. I'm gonna let you get to that part though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so she was on me and she like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. And I was like, I used to like groove her. I used to gang talk to her. I couldn't pronounce nothing the proper way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She changed all that. She like, man, you ain't gonna be talking. Cause I'd never been with a woman. So, like, not even trying to say it like that, but like, I'm really famous from over there.
Yeah.
So most women, they know me. So they want to talk to me because of who I was in the world.
Right.
So I'm used to people being attracted to that.
Yeah.
So I've never had nobody who wasn't attracted to that. So she threw me off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, what you mean don't talk to you? This hot talk. People like hot talk. And she like, no, don't talk to me. They talk to your people in the world like that.
Yeah.
And I used to call her weird. Like, man, like hang up on like, you're a weirdo. Like, cause I've never met a female who ever told me stop gangbanging. Whoever told me, hey, don't talk to me like that. Whoever told me, hey, let's pray. Like that, honestly, I didn't even go after women like that.
Mm.
Like, so when I got her and she was doing all this, it was a turn off in the beginning. Like I knew I liked her, but it was like, man, she kind of weird though.
Yeah.
So, and she just kept persisting with it though. Like, hey, you can't talk to me like that. You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do that. Of course, I did it. But then like I looked up. I changed my lingo. I'm talking to my friends in the world. How I talk to her. They like, hey, bro, what you? Hey, bro, what is you talking about? Like, you don't talk no gang slurs. I'm like, oh man, my bad. Dealing with the wife.
Yeah.
So she really it really affected me.
Right. Right. That's what's up. So then now let's go back to Daniela. So now you get celled up with Daniela. You in the cell with him when he get his Hebrew name, or you all around each other at that time?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So did he start telling you about the truth, and how did you get introduced into to the truth and all that? Like, what was the first steps?
All right, so we knew him as the crazy man in my family. So he was
Daniela.
Yeah, so he was already.
You say crazy man, break it down.
Meaning that he was in the truth, and that sounds crazy to people who are not in the truth.
Oh. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when he's talking to our family, And they related to me. They're like, man, your cousin has lost his damn mind. You said, I'm like, why? They telling me like, man, he talk about he's an Israelite or something like, you know, saying and all this. And I didn't know at the time, so I'm like, what's an Israelite? Like
He's saying it wrong.
yeah,
Israelite.
yeah, I'm saying like that. I'm like, man, like, what's that? And they like, I don't know, it's something he talk about people in Africa. That's literally what they tell me, right? The people in Africa, he got something going on.
Mhm.
So I literally went out my way to get in contact with him to find out because I'm tired of family telling me about you.
Right.
You know, so this was my favorite cousin in the world.
Okay.
Right? Like we started gang banging together. We used to do everything together. This was my favorite cousin. So what they telling me, I'm like, he been in jail longer than me. So I'm like, hey, cousin done lost his mind. Like, no, jail can have that effect on you. So I'm thinking like he didn't turn like a weirdo because of the being in jail.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I talked to him before I ever even met him in person again, he like, yeah, man, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, you know, do I.S.U.P.K, you know, home of the truth and all this, and I'm just like, what happened to blood? I was serious, like, man, like he'd tell you, I'm like, man, you ain't my cousin, bro. I don't know you. And so that was my first introduction to the truth, like ever hearing anything about it.
Right.
So when I ran into him, honestly, I'm thinking like, man, he ain't gonna be like that with me. You know, like,
Yeah.
he can't be like that with me. Not, you know how I am.
Right.
And he came in his cell so enough with that. You know, he was on that time. And he was like, he had all the books.
Right.
Man, the brother, man, like I ain't even exaggerating, man. He this is the reason I moved out to cell with him too, because I wasn't in the truth when I was with him. So he used to study too much for me. So he like, no, for real, like 10 hours, you know?
Damn.
So I'm like, bro, let's work out, let's do certain things. He's studying. You know, I'm smoking weed, I'm doing all type of stuff. So he killing my vibe. You know? I mean, you know, like, I'm like, bro, like you still like Bible study? You know, and he like, yeah, you know, like, well, I look up, 5 hours, he's still up there. So it's kind of like being in the cell by yourself, but without the purpose of being in the cell by yourself, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, man, if I'm being here by myself, I need to really be here by myself. I could do me. So I'm telling him, like, bro, this ain't gonna work. Like, and I was so against the truth and just in the world. I mean, he'd tell me we was about to fight in the cell and all that. Like, I really like wasn't feeling it at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and but one thing I can always say is that everything he used to teach me, he showed me. So he's a big part of the reason I'm in the truth because he showed me things that I didn't even know. Starting with this Caesar Borgia.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That really blew my mind. Like I remember I'm running around telling everybody in prison, like, hey, bro, you know how you learn something, you want to tell everybody, like, hey, bro, hey, I bet y'all don't know who this really is. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. I know he's a homosexual, he this. And like I said, I wasn't even in the truth at the time, but I was more so like surprised because I grew up in the house with that white Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, our whole family is super Christians. So you know, I believed in all the Christian theories. So as he's showing me this and he proving it, it's blowing my mind because one thing about being taught something for so long, it hurts. The truth hurts
Yeah.
because you realize, like, damn, like you get to feeling stupid. Like, damn, like how I not know this? Like, man, we always like my whole household was stupid.
Mm.
So like I'm tripping at the more stuff he's showing me, it's blowing my mind. And then you know you get a sense of pride too. So you know, I used to try to fight the brother for showing me certain stuff. Like, bro, I promise you, bro. Like, you saw me there, we gonna squabble in here. Like for real. Like I told you, I don't want to see no more. You know, because you know, my feelings hurt now. So I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, man, whatever. You know, so we used to bump heads on that level.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So then, boom, he working on you. He dropping it on you, and then I know now I'm going back to your father.
Right.
So then, you hear the story, you hear the news about your father. You on the FaceTime, you on the chat, you hear the news. That shit fuck you up.
Right.
You go from that part and you like fuck everything, mad.
Right.
So how long were you mad for? Over that?
Like a year.
Yeah. And you really wasn't trying to hear Yahanna at that time.
Oh no, most definitely. Like, you know, he used to try to tell me like, oh man, you know, it's the Lord's will, and like we really about to, yeah. Like I'm talking about like he know like I done whipped out burner like I'm like, man, I didn't like literally had conversation with my homies like, hey, bro, I'm really thinking about knocking my cousin down. Like, cause that's really how I felt. Like, bro, nobody wants to hear about what is, you know, God is doing, or it's not nobody's fault. Like, who wants to hear that right now? You know, so he used to come at me with scriptures with it. Like, you know, I'm telling you, I used to deal with it. This, you know, I still be hurt about my moms, but I'm at peace because of this. And it's like, bro, that's your mother. I don't care. I'm talking about my daddy though. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so and it's crazy too. Because that's a big reason we split up too, though. Because I'm like the devil was in my head. I'm telling you, I used to like my homies like, bro, you need to get up out of here if you have them type of thoughts. I'm like, bro, I'm ready to really knock him down, bro. Like, because we wasn't like he in the truth. So his he using scriptures, and I'm in the world. So scriptures don't work on people in the world. You know, so the more he's telling, it's infuriating me because in my head it's like, man, this shit is a game, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we really was getting to it over that,
Yeah.
and looking back on it, I really understand. Like he was just trying to be supportive. He was trying to be a brother,
Yeah.
but I wasn't a brother in that moment, so I didn't understand nothing he was talking about.
Right. Right. So, you mad for over a year. Then you finally, like, something happens, something clicks with you to where you like, let me hear let me hear what my cousin talking about for real. What clicked? Like, what happened? What changed?
Well, it wasn't just really my cousin too. So
Okay.
I forgot Officer Lahab.
Mm-hmm.
So Lahab used to be on me. So he used to hear me in the background, talking through the doors, talking to other people and stuff. And he hear me being loud, extra loud. He used to always be like, hey, man, who is that, man? Like, man, this dude is burnt out. Who is he? He like, man, I tell you, that's my cousin. And I'm like, man, you gotta try to get him. He's like, man, I'm telling you, he ain't going for it, man. This dude's crazy. And I'm like, man, it don't matter. Just stay on him. And Lahab didn't talk to me before too. I'm like, hey, look, man, you know, I hear you. Just Hoover, like, that's cool, you know, all that, you know. And it's crazy because this is how much I didn't know the truth, right? When you just tell me, I was like, yeah, you know, assalamu alaikum, all that, bro. I feel it, you know, like whatever you want, that's cool, but this is what I'm doing. And every time Lahab would call in, he always checked up on me. Man, what's up with the brother? Man, let me just talk to him, man. You know, so me and Lahab actually became cool because of that.
Right.
Because even when I talked to Lahab, he never hit me with scriptures. So my cousin, his approach in that moment was wrong. He'd be aggressive with the scriptures.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he'd be, if you don't do this, you're gonna die. You know, the Lord's gonna kill you. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, bro, like when you don't believe in certain, it's like, bro, I'm a killer. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, listen, bro, I don't care, you know? So he's like, he aggressive with it. So the Lahab, he be like, he talks about regular things, you know? Like, he just kept it regular. Oh, man, you know, whatever it's about, man, it'd be simple stuff, man. How your day going? You know, well, I'm just checking up on y'all, making sure y'all cool, you know, well, you know. But if you ever do decide, you know, to do something different, man, you know, this is the truth, you know. Here go my number. You can call me anytime. Here go my address. You know, like the brother even offered me money. You know what I'm saying? He like, man, you know, if you need support, man, you know, I can get you some books if you need some, man. If you ain't got no food, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, he don't even know me. What is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? But he did. He always extended his hand to me.
Right.
So Lahab played a big part in that too.
Right.
Even with telling my cousin how to deal with him, because Lahab would be on it like, man, you already see how he is, man. You know, you don't want to like press him into a corner like that because it ain't gonna work. Like you too aggressive. Like chill. Like you know, just y'all family, just have regular family conversations.
Mm.
You know, and let the truth just come in how it comes.
Right. Okay. So then, how'd you become a trooper? Where'd that come from?
So uh, Lahab gave me his number. Uh, He didn't give me his number because he did give me his number, but I don't remember what I kept. I either kept his number or a flyer. It was either or. And I started so I started just practicing little things like try not to eat pork, try not to smoke, little things like that. You know, of course I'm you know backsliding, going back and forth because I'm not even in the truth. I'm just trying to get a feel for this. And I wanted to call him Lahab. Because at this time I had moved my cousin out the cell. We was getting into it. So I'm like, man, this ain't gonna work. So I moved him out the cell, and I moved one of my homies back in the cell with me. And but we talking about the Bible, me and my homie. So as we talking about the Bible and stuff, and we trying to figure it out together. Because at that time I had two homies in the world on the yard that identified as Hebrews. Blew my mind. People I grew up with didn't even know. So when they told me, like, bro, you look, like, why you never told me? He like, bro, you never asked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, you, this from the streets? Because like I told you, I've never heard of a Hebrew.
Yeah.
So when somebody you grew up with and you know forever, and like he's like my big homie, he tell me he Hebrew, I'm like, man, you playing a joke. So me and him talking now. So he's breaking the Bible down. My cousin, he's still in the building with me. So when I see him at day room and stuff, he's still breaking the Bible down. So now we didn't kind of like formed our own little groups, and we studied the Bible. You know, so when my celly was studying it, I had hit Lahab one day, and I just talked to him like, hey, you know, I'm just trying to see what this truth is about, you know.
Mm.
And he was like, that's right, you know. But it blew his mind though, because he thought about it after he said it, right? And he like, wait, hold on, who is this? And I said, this is Yala's cousin. And he like, no, for real? I'm like, yeah. He like, shit, Lord in Christ. And that was my introduction, man, like official introduction for checking in with Lahab and him really teaching me this stuff. Yeah.
Right. 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 So let's do this, right? So now knock down 17 years prison. Long 17 years in prison. Long time. Your release date it was so I remember you told me that thing that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So my original release date is it was 2025, like February.
Okay.
Right.
And but you got released to a halfway house for a second.
Right. So I got released to a halfway house like in 2021. I got released to a halfway house. Uh, I stayed there for 9 months, 9 months and 4 days, and then I got sent back to prison. Uh, so I was there, and it's crazy too because by this time I'm like really in the truth now.
Yeah.
So I'm literally not even. I don't gang bang no more. I'm doing the right thing, you know.
Yeah.
I'm out the way. So that was more so about my past coming back, you know,
Mm-hmm.
coming back up on me. So I'm in there. I'm in La Habra every day, you know. I'm doing the right thing down here. I got a little job in the halfway house. I'm doing good. And out of nowhere, they come kick my door in for some stuff that happened years ago. You know, and, basically, somebody told on me about some stuff that happened in prison, and they came and took me back to jail.
You had to do it how long?
A year.
Another
I
year.
had to finish the time that I had left off. So while I was in the halfway house, I had to do a year in the halfway house. So in the process of doing that year, I had went up for board, and they granted me early parole, meaning I didn't have to do that year in the halfway house. They was gonna kick me out probably like the next month.
Mm.
But as soon as they granted my parole, just 2 weeks later, they came and rearrested me.
Mm. So then you go back in prison. You go back to prison and knock down a year, then you get released for real. Now it's behind you.
Now it's
Not
behind.
to a halfway house. You can
Not
go
to the
back and
halfway
go
house.
to
Right.
yeah. Okay. So boom. Now you get released. You out. You're just back in the streets now. You're in the city.
So,
You moved out of LA.
moved out of LA.
Moved out of LA. How did that feel?
As far as getting out of LA or just being
No,
free?
just like being back in the city, being back on the streets.
Well, it was the first time I feel it because in the halfway house you don't really leave.
Right.
So you on the streets, you get to see little street events, but it's a complete different feeling versus having the freedom to go wherever you want to. So when I like officially this time, it was beautiful, man. It was amazing. Honestly, I cried. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like when my rib came and got me, like that whole process of just going to the car, the whole thing, and then and it's crazy because it's traumatizing because down there. I've been told on so many times for things that the whole time I'm sitting in there waiting for my rep to come pick me up, I had like from people telling me I had like 6 cases pending. So at that time, I'm spooked. I'm like, man, why is they taking so long? Is they about to pick up one of these cases? Because they've been coming to talk to me since I've been back, you know? Like, hey, these people told some crazy stuff to where they even have my rib caught up in some stuff, you know?
Mhm.
And I'm like, and the cold part is, majority of it was lies to where it was just like, damn, this is crazy. Like, how do I find a lie?
Right.
You know, like I don't even know like what to start. So I just got all this information, and all this information just equals time. So I'm just like, man, this is crazy. And that was like the stressful part of doing that extra year because they telling me they got all this over my head,
Yeah.
and they could come any day.
Yeah.
So I'm stressed out that whole year.
Right.
You know, and so when she come pick me up, I'm stressed out because they taking too long. It got to the point they give you $200 when you get released. So they had to go get the money. I'm telling them, like, look, I promise you, y'all can keep that money. I don't want it. Just let me leave because I'm spooked. And they talking about, oh no, he'll be back. Just, I'm like, man, is it any way I could just, like, no, you have to sign it. I'm like, man, I just want to go home. You know, like, I don't even care about the money because in my head, like, every time I done got released, something bad happened to her. I went back to jail.
Right.
So I'm like, man, this would be crazy.
Right.
Like, but yeah, when she came and got me, she'd tell you, I got in that car. And she like, man, we gonna go to this man. Don't stop nowhere. Just go. I said, I don't want to be nowhere in this prison.
Yeah.
I don't care about no food. Just go. Just drive and don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get far away from this jail because all the way until I got home, I promise you, I wasn't even cool. I'm like spooked. Like, man, it's a police car. Something out here following us, telling us. My real like, man, you're nervous. You're making me nervous. I was traumatized.
Right. 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 See, out you're in the streets, and then it's back to normal. Like, just real quick, how was that transition? Like, how's your mind? Like, I remember um, when I first talked to you for the first couple of days, I was like, how's your mind? Like, you remember I kept asking me like, how you dealing with that? How's your mental? Because I know that transition could be a little bit, you know what I mean, rough.
Yeah. So I mean, it's rough.
Yeah.
So I did majority of my time on a level 4, and you don't get no movement on a level 4. We get 2 hours of program every day. You know, and then from a 180, then when you get to a 270, which is the lowest I got, you go from 2 hours a day to 4, possibly 5 hours a day. So you really, and we be on lockdown majority of the year. Like Salinas Valley is one of the most violent prisons in California. So we always on lockdown. You know, so I'm not used to being around a gang of people. I'm not used to a gang of movement. In prison, a gang of movement is not cool on a level 4. Like usually, like, that's where people get hurt at, you know?
Yeah.
So when I came into like just walking down the street, just doing regular stuff was like super like it made me like hella like jittery.
Yeah.
Like that, it wasn't cool.
Right.
It took me a minute to get used to going to the gym, just just all having all these movements around me. I'd be like head on a swivel. Like every time somebody hit me, old lady, I'm like, what's she doing? You know, because I'm not used to that much movement around me.
Yeah.
So that was one of the for sure things. Even sometimes still to this day, it's starting, settle in a little bit more. But still, like if I get in the big crowds, yeah, it get kind of weird. And that, and then just meeting everybody. I've been going 17 years, so all my siblings are grown. I left my oldest sibling outside of my brothers probably like 12, you know? So now I come home, everybody got kids. So I don't know they kids, so I'm meeting they kids, and it's a crazy detachment from them because it's like, this your family. You see the love, you feel it, but in my head, I'm still like, damn, I don't really know these people though,
Yeah.
And like you can feel it sometimes. Like I'll be talking to people, and I promise you, I don't know who the hell they are. I don't know their name or nothing. They're like, I'm your cousin. I'll just be going on, like, oh, hey. And in my head, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, who is this stranger?
Right.
And then one of my family I'm cool with afterward, I'm like, hey, bro, what was that? Like, oh, that was cousin with you. Oh, okay. Oh, you gotta let me know.
Right.
So that too, like, it's weird. Like, my little nieces, they be meeting me. They be like, this. I told you I got majority sisters. So my little nieces, some of my little nieces when they first met me, they like, that ain't your mama. Like my nanny don't got no boys because they don't know me. So they like, I don't know you. Who are you? And they mama get mad. I'm like, they ain't lying. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that whole little getting to know them and family members that I don't know. It's family members I grew up with, and the reality is I don't remember no more. So like when we get around, it's awkward like for the first 10 minutes
Right.
because it's like, man, what's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? I don't know what's up with you. Because we don't know what to say to each other. It's been so long. It's like what we gonna. I left as a kid, so we're gonna talk about like, oh yeah, I remember when you was out in 2005.
Yeah.
Remember we was over there. Hey, you know it's gonna be weird. Like, bro, that shit don't even exist no more. You know, so like just catching up and getting to meet people and just getting settled in. You know, it's a lot.
Right. Then you come to the school.
Then I come to the
You
school.
come to the school, and you already had your Hebrew name.
No,
You didn't have the Hebrew name.
no, I didn't have.
Oh yeah, you got it. You at the school. So you come to the school.
Come to the
You
school.
come to the school. Um, you meet the brothers. You
Meet
didn't
the
meet all
brothers.
everybody, but you meet some of the brothers.
Meet some of the brothers.
And you get your Hebrew name. Tell me now, walk me through that. Like how would like your mindset, because you learned about the school in prison.
Come,
You learned about the truth in prison.
come.
So now you putting this, you getting the spirit of the school and all that. So take me about that.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I remember me and my cousins be talking about like, oh yeah, meeting the brothers in the school, you know, and getting to know everybody, that whole little thing. And it was like, it seemed easier. It's like, you know, when you're thinking about something, it's like it's a smooth transition in your head when you think of it. And it was, thank God, when I came, but it was like a surreal moment because, like I said, I'm fresh out. I came to the school. I got out like on a, Tuesday or something. I was at the school Thursday, so I came right away. You know,
Right, right.
so I'm still adjusting. You know, so when I come, I'm taking it all in.
Yeah.
I'm meeting the brothers. You know, and mind you, I don't know nobody.
Right.
But Lahab, and Lahab ain't here.
Yeah.
So it would have been a lot easier, you know, but Lahab wasn't here. So I'm just like, okay, I don't know I'm talking to Lahab on the phone though. I'm like, man, what do I do? Like, I mean, like nobody knows me. I know nobody. Like, how's this gonna work? And he like, man, look, don't trip. This is what we're gonna do. So the brothers come let me in, and it was just like a whole little surreal moment. So come in, meet the brothers, you know, and it was beautiful, man. Honestly, you know, the crazy part is, and I hate to use this comparison, but I always say it from a righteous standpoint. It was like no different in a sense for me hanging with people I grew up with, other than we serving the Lord and we doing the righteously. You get what I'm saying? So it's still that brotherhood, but from a righteous standpoint.
Yeah.
So when I came in here, it wasn't weird for me because it's like, man, I've been around y'all my whole life.
Right.
We just doing it righteously now. You get what I'm saying? So when I came in here, I didn't feel nothing but love. You know,
Yeah.
like, oh man, these my homies right here. You know, these my brothers. You know,
Yeah.
and that's really what it was, man. I felt the love that day, still to this day.
Right.
You know,
Right. And then like, I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna go back because I wanna go back and like, because you met your rib. What year? You remember what year?
2009.
And you
I
got
mean, Slovakia, 2019.
2019. You got married in prison.
Come,
You got married in prison.
come,
When you know when you get in prison, you get conjugals when you're married, right?
come.
So now, but you waited until you got out of prison because now you're pregnant.
Well, no, I didn't wait. So,
No. I'm talking about waiting to get her pregnant.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
well,
now go ahead.
not
Go
intentionally.
ahead.
Not intentionally. Not intentionally. You know, but no. So when we got married, actually, COVID had just
Oh,
started.
that's right.
So we got married. You know, they shut the prison down, so it wasn't nothing going on anyway. So we had a date, but that date got canceled, and so we had like a little personal little ceremony over the phone with her family and things like that. But then we officially got married the next year in 2021,
Mm.
and and as soon as we got married, I still didn't get a conjugal because I went to the halfway house.
Oh, okay.
So then when I came back to prison, that's when I first got my first family visits.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then, boom. Now, you out of prison. Now you're real pregnant.
Huh?
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think we pretty much touched on everything. So now your rank is a trooper.
Come.
Trooper in I.S.U.P.K. Um, you know what I'm saying now, like you done just gave your life over to the Most High, to Christ, and to the and to be give your allegiance to the school. Um, One thing I wanted to ask you is just you kind of touched on it with the streets and here just being on the right side, but what's a way to fish all the brothers? Is there a way? Is there a way? Is there something that can happen for these brothers to be down, come in, all that?
Uh,
In your opinion?
Absolutely. Most High in Christ. Uh, One thing, even for myself, um, like I said, I still got friends in the world that's in prison that I talk to, you know. And one thing I do know is that all the people who that I really know that's really in the streets, everybody already woke up to this ain't the life, you know. So even the brothers that's in jail right there, they just when you in jail, you have to participate because of where you at. You know, if they was on the streets, they wouldn't be gang banging right now because we talk about it all the time. But being in prison, I have to gang bang because if not, it's just gonna make your stay harder than what it is. You know, so a lot of brothers I talked to already, they already even when I was in there, like a lot of brothers already ready to make that transition. You know, and majority of the time it just be from not having nobody or knowing nobody who's already living that life that they can do it with. You know, so it'd be more so from fear of doing it by yourself. You know, like I'm stepping out here and I'm doing this on my own. I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
Like, cause even the brothers I talk to, like brothers see me, they see what I'm doing out here, and they hit me up all the time. Like, man, that's I love what you're doing, bro, man. You know, I look forward to doing it with you. They gangbang still.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So they just looking for a way out. They want to leave. They just don't know how to leave. You know, and I think that's what it be for a lot of brothers because it ain't. I don't know nobody who gangbang that know that this ain't the way right now. Everybody I talk to, they know the gangbang is it's not the way. You know, and they just don't know. And they spiritual as well. They believe in God. They believe in the Bible. You know, they believe that Christ is black. They already believe in these things, but they just don't know the whole truth, and they don't know where to start at. Like, and it was in a sense like me. I didn't know where to start at, you know, until a hop showed me. So I think it's really about uh, 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 these brothers finding people to be examples and show them people, you know, and I ain't even gonna say like people like me who used to gang bang. And I don't feel like it has to be that example. I feel like it just gotta be a real brother, you know? Even if you never gang bang or nothing, I just feel like it gotta be a real brother who can really show them. Because like I said, they already spiritual, they already want to lead that life. They just don't know how, they just don't know what to do because when you do that life for so long, that was my thing. This is all I knew. This is all I put my energy into. So it's like, okay, I hear what you saying, but I done dedicated my whole life to this. I done sacrificed everything for this. So now you telling me everything I done built up and sacrificed for, I gotta say, okay, I know I did dedicate my whole life to this, but then I'm about to go this way and start a whole nother sacrifice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot for a person who don't know where to go. So it's easier to just stick with what you already know because I've already built this reputation, already got certain worldly treatments. So it's like, why would I leave this to go for something I don't even know? I don't know where it's gonna lead to. I have nobody here to guide me. I don't have nobody who's gonna be here to support me full time through this truth, you know? So I think that's really what it be.
Awesome. Awesome. I appreciate you for your time. You know what I mean? We're gonna do a part two. We'll get to it. But I appreciate you, man. Shalom.
Shalom.